Welcome back to the show, everyone, on a Health Tuesday. Hashtag Gumnanzi Gwasekhaya. It's good to be home. Today on the show, we are learning more on cervical cancer. So today we have the National Cervical Cancer Coordinator in the Ministry of Health. His name is Dr. Telulego Masego. Sifuna kuva ukuthi as a country, how far have we come in fighting the spread of cervical cancer? And he's going to be telling us more about that, hoping that it encourages you guys to go and get screened. So hello, Doctor, how are you doing?
Good. How are you? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for being here and taking your time to be here today on the show.
Thank you for having me as well.
All right.
Much appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm so excited. The reason why I even jumped for this interview was because I recently got screened for cervical cancer.
Oh,
so I
wow.
felt like,
great job.
Yes.
Great
so
job.
I felt like it was fitting.
Motivate everybody in the studio to do that.
Yes, definitely. I'm motivating people to actually get screened.
Nice.
So we're talking about cervical cancer, and of course we know that in 2020 the World Health Organization endorsed a strategy in which all countries need to eliminate cervical cancer.
Yes.
So let's talk about the 90-70-90, because that is some of those are the objectives rather that are in the strategy. Can you talk to me about what that is?
Oh, okay. You think you're right. In 2020, the World Health Organization endorsed a strategy for all member states to eliminate cervical cancer by 2030. With that call, Eswatini being one of the member states, took it upon herself to develop an elimination strategy, which the country is in its final stage of developing that particular document, which we call Umkombandlela, which will then show how best we eliminate cervical cancer.
Yeah.
In that particular call from WHO, we have what you just said, 90-70-90.
Yes.
So the 90 speaks to 90% of young girls by the age of 15 to be vaccinated by year 2030.
Okay.
So if you look at that objective, we are saying kids who are probably around ages 9 this year, by 2030 to be around 15 years old.
Okay.
So we want to see the populate that particular age cohort by the year 2030. All of those particular young girls should be fully protected with HPV vaccine. So we want to achieve a vaccination target of 90%. Currently, the country, from the age bracket of 9 to 40, we have an achievement of 74%.
Oh, that's great.
So we are really doing well in that particular aspect as a whole, because we have a multi-age cohort in terms of eliminating cervical cancer in preventative aspect of offering HPV vaccine.
Okay.
Then you spoke about the second aspect, which is the 70%.
Yes.
So the WHO has stated an objective too, that 70% of women should be screened with high performance test at the age of 35 and the age of 45. So it means twice, which means basically when we speak about high performance test, we're talking about the higher sensitivity test, which is HPV testing. So the country has introduced HPV testing as well. So we are seeing a great improvement in terms of access to care, because a lot of women are accessing that particular modality where they go to facilities, in different facilities for cervical cancer, and they are offered HPV testing. And that's where we see the numbers escalating in that particular aspect. Then objective number 3, we talk about the treatment of precancerous lesions and treatment of invasive cancer. As a country, there are strategies and there are activities that are in country which talk about precancerous treatment in all health facilities, health facilities being health centers and all high volume sites and all regional hospitals, where we really put and strive to treat precancer, and we have treatment of invasive cancer in Babane and Manzini, because we have an inpatient oncology unit in Manzini Hospital. We have one outpatient oncology unit in Babane Hospital. So in terms of the 3 objectives, the country is doing quite well, significantly so, and we are still encouraging and promoting cervical cancer screening, because as Minister of Health, it is really, really heavy on the ministry or government to see women dying of cervical cancer. Why? So it's because cervical cancer is a preventative and you can prevent cervical cancer. Then the next question, why are we dying of it? Because it can be prevented. And again, you can also treat cervical cancer at a particular stage. So why are women dying of cervical cancer? So it's a huge burden for the country. So we have put much effort in trying to eliminate cervical cancer. And we want, as a country, when 2030 comes into play, when WHO says he wants to evaluate if we've achieved the 90, 70, 90, we want to see ourselves celebrating that particular phenomenon.
Yes, and I mean, just speaking of the first 90, we're already on 74, so that's not bad. We are more than halfway there, I mean, if I do say so myself. And just for a person who's thinking, okay, we're speaking more on cervical cancer, can we probably like define and also just highlight some of the causes of leli hlobo lemdlavuza leli?
Okay, lo mdlavuza womlomasibele ubangwa igciwane ekuthiwa i-HPV,
Yes.
human papillomavirus. Lelo ibangako. Leli gciwane lelo ke litholakala nge-contact. So in most cases, it's a virus that's transmitted through contact during sexual activity.
Okay.
So sexual activity has been, in this current age, has been diverse. It's no more than normal sexual activity we're used to.
Yes.
So now, if it's HPV-related cancers, we have a lot of HPV-related cancers. You have your anal cancer, you have your vulvar cancer. Those are HPV-related cancers. But then, for this particular HPV, is strain 16 and 18 that causes cervical cancer.
Okay.
So as a country looks at introducing the HPV testing, then we'll be able to tell if you have that particular strain. So then you're able to be treated at an early stage before it develops to be cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just because I've also tested as well, I think they give you a space of like 2 years. So if you have tested in 2025, you go back in 2027. It's not that bad. I don't know why I haven't. I didn't know why I didn't do it for a long time. So speaking of, January being Cervical Cancer Awareness Month, can you tell us more about the theme here 2025 kuti 18?
Okay. The theme of 2025 is get screened, get informed, and get vaccinated.
Okay.
So all those three spectrums now are holistic. We also encourage partners to encourage their female partners to go for cervical cancer screening. So people should get information, get vaccinated, and get treatment. So if we talk about the vaccination part of it, we are targeting the age band 9 to 14 years old. Some parents do have kids probably who have not vaccinated for cervical cancer. We encourage them go to buy the nearest facility so that their kids, their daughters can get vaccinated to be protected. Kuze kuthi kusengafiki ukuthi kuqale ukuthi baqale babe infected ngale HPV virus.
Okay. And the vaccine can only be like given to people that have not started being sexually active, right? Am I correct?
Not necessarily.
So I can get it?
Yes, as a country we took that decision looking at the prospective and investment aspect of it. You can get it, but then your level of exposure of HPV is different from the level of exposure of a 9-year-old.
Okay.
Yes, so that will determine. Again, before getting the vaccine, it would be nice for you to do a HPV testing and DNA genotyping so that you know exactly which strain do you have in your body. Then you'll be guided by your medical officer if this is the kind of vaccine you can have in that particular aspect.
Okay, well said. And of course, we want to find out as a country, Guti, how are we aligning with the theme? January Ndaben Bizngani, what's going to be happening? Like, what can we do of health in terms of like, just raising the awareness and everything that is in your objectives as the Ministry of Health?
This is part of the initiative being here, is raising awareness as well.
Thank you, period.
And again, we have other initiatives in different facilities which will really encourage women. We've also sensitized all the high volume sites that they should share information on cervical cancer. We also partnered with private facilities and parastatals to share this kind of information because most women are afraid of screening, and some women are they always believe if it's done this way, there's some discomfort. There's no discomfort in it. It's just a little bit of discomfort.
It's bearable. It's not that bad.
Yes. So I encourage all women to really go for screening, and I encourage all their partners as well, the men, to be part of the journey when they're going for screening, because in most cases you find men not supporting their partners. At the end of the day, when you support your partner, this is a holistic approach. You as a family or you as a boyfriend and girlfriend, you are in a common understanding just because you also want to achieve a certain endeavor with your special activity.
All right. So one more time, can you remind us of the theme? It's be screened, be informed, and what's the last one?
Get treated.
Get treated, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
Thank you so much for taking your time to be with us today. Hashtag be screened, and of course be informed. And of course we are hoping that, like a lot of people, you know, take this initiative to go get screened, guys. If I could do it, obviously I like to say that you guys can also do it. And of course it's better to, you know, get the early detection before, you know, the situation is very dire. So we're hoping that you learned something. And of course, as Eswatini, we should, you know, be working with the Ministry of Health into eliminating cervical cancer. So we hope that the conversation was very educational for you guys and delightful. So we hope that you're going to be making your way to the clinic and your local, you know, hospitals tomorrow, right? With that being said, we'll take a breather and be right back on the show.